Welcome to another Chess 24 Blitz Banter. So this is Sunday 12:30. If you go to the area at 12, just half an hour before, you can start challenging me. Just make sure this is muted and start looking at the challenges. Okay. So night flight. Early bird catches the worm. Night flight. Okay. I'm not wearing my prison t-shirt this week, and my hair's grown a bit. I've also got bunny ears this week, which I hope not to use. I thought I'd use them after a major blunder or loss. Dear. Anyway, okay. Sorry, I got a strange sense of humor. Yeah. Okay, Smith-Mora Gambit. I've actually been doing some serious analysis on this system, but it didn't include G6. Actually, no, I should add G6 to my secret repertoire, top secret repertoire that I'm working on. Okay. So I'm over 2400 at the moment. Really cool rating for a change from last time. I've been escalating slightly from session to session at the moment, but it's going to be tricky, isn't it, this session? Okay, bishop. Well, knight e5 is not working for bishop e5, king f8, or is it? This knight d7, king e8, knight f6, it's not working. Depends anyway. Let's check. I mean, I'm tempted, but he's got king f8. I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think this is a bit of pressure here, I hope. Anyway. I don't mind the double pawns necessarily. So rook c8. Maybe I should have minded double pawns, but maybe the g file is okay. To have if I castle queenside, which I'm going to do. Now I could play on the queenside and forget about kingside. In fact, that seems like better proposition in some respects. Put some pressure on the queen side. Maybe neutralize this bishop. He's going to have knight c5 if I play bishop d4. So, yeah. I don't think I've got much to show at the moment for anything. I don't even think knight b5 is threatened. Actually, no, there's no threats. So, do I want to take? That's the question. Or do I want to play queen c2? Maybe queen c2 for a moment. Radical b4. Just trying to play on the queen side. I know that's where my king is, but I'm hoping I've actually got a fundamental space advantage here. So for example, if the knight retreats, knight e2, I'm hoping I'm not getting mated, and then maybe bishop d4 after. Although he could come round to c4 with his knight soon, I guess. He's giving me the c file. Well, I'm very happy with that if he's actually going to let me infiltrate on c7. I didn't expect this. Okay, the knight's coming to c4 though. That is an Achilles heel. And there's f3 as well. Can I play? Oh, just f3. I can just play f3. Okay, rook e7. Okay, knight f3, rook e7. He plays rook c8. I can protect f3 for a moment. Gives me knight c6. Is knight c6 actually doing anything? Knight f3, knight e7. Not sure, it's a bit controversial. Rook e8, and then he's on e4 after. I'm naughty in this game. I'm taking too many risks. Maybe knight c6. Yeah, knight f3, knight e7, rook e8. What do I do? Okay, it's knight. I don't think knight a3 is mating necessarily. So is knight e7 possible here? I don't want him taking over the c file though. So for a moment, I think I want to leave my rook there. Maybe control a few key squares. Unless the rook's getting trapped. Maybe knight a5 and just try and simplify a bit, but without this knight on c4. I don't like to be put in some sort of mating net necessarily. Okay. Well, my chance to simplify with bishop b2 here, and then threatens rook e7. So my rook still, it's more active. I've simplified to just basically a more active rook with less risk of a mating net being woven, I think, around my king. So rook e7 looks like a good pawn to take with that pin. That means d6 is going to be weaker. So let's say rook c5, rook d7 maybe. I don't want to bring the king out. So rook d7, okay, he's going to be chipping away on my pawns now as well. So I got past d pawn. Get these pawns working quickly. But how? Is h pawn's going to be quick? Get this out of the way for d6. And play for d6. Okay, d6 without rook d2. d6, h3, d7, h2, d8. Oh, hang on. I don't think that works. I thought he had to go for a queen. That was an interesting point. I thought he had to just go for a queen. Alright, that was interesting. Let's have a quick look at that moment. What does the engine think? Black's much better. With king f8 immediately. King f8 immediately. I was thinking h4. That's equal apparently. This is what I was thinking. But yeah, I didn't see a check here. That's the problem with this position. Black is much better. I didn't see a check for me, so just queening. Oh, lucky escape then. Yeah, I think I lost control there significantly. Objectively speaking, definitely lost control. Well played. Tom Coolan. Okay. I'll try and Tarash. Yeah, that fast H pawn is really good to use as used. I mean, it would have just, yeah. Netherlands, right? I've just been watching a Simple Minds concert. It's on YouTube, Netherlands. It's one of my favourite now. I think it's up there. One of my favourite concerts to check out on YouTube is this Simple Minds in the Netherlands, because it was like this proper orchestra as well, playing to support them. Pretty good stuff. Check it out. And I've been to the Netherlands actually, a stag do, and as well as the usual, there's the Max Erver Museum to check out if you go to Amsterdam. There's the museums and stuff. Yeah, there's quite a bit of culture there around Amsterdam, not just the red light district, which is the main reason people go there on the stag do. My friend Fat and Mad, actually, yeah, Costas Karyonis, it was his stag do a few years back. Yeah, but we did check out, the Max Over Centre and other chess stuff. They have their world chess champion, so I think there's that legacy there, which you can see around a bit, unless it's been closed recently. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Queen C2. We've got knight D4 to F5. What's happening here? Isn't it good to get the dark square bishop? I would have thought it is, because there's less pressure on F2, which is quite often what black's playing for, some pressure on F2. If I get a gigantic grip on the dark squares and don't have any king safety issues, then actually, the blockading might... Oh, he didn't recapture. Oh. Okay, he didn't recapture that. He had to, I thought he had to play queen takes c5. I'll just simplify that. I don't think it's backrow mate, but I don't want to lose 2 rooks for the queen necessarily either. Maybe something like, okay, bishop f5 here looks good, except there's check. There's bishop d4 though, bishop d4, so maybe it's worth playing this. Check, bishop d4, check, check. No, check takes. I think black, that knight is in trouble after this move. I think bishop f5. I wonder about making my board bigger. I could zoom this browser window. It's a little bit. Maybe I could make the board bigger, just in case. At some point, not now. Okay, so yes. Right, I think rook takes e3. I'm still hitting the queen. Okay, thanks for the game, Tom. Let's go to the next challenge. Duke Crusher, who's always having very good chances against me. No counterplay food today. I've been preparing. I've got 2 cups of coffee today. Try and minimize your counterplay. Ah, you're going to play this, are you? Surprise system, is it? Today? B3. Yes, I've got 2 cups of coffee. I've been pairing with nuts as well instead of bananas. Bananas or nuts will do, I think, for energy, long-term energy during this session. I just want to be awake, etc. So now I haven't really done anything. I'm going to do this for fun, to try and worry you, Duke Crusher, if you're listening. Ah, clearly you're worried. Clearly. Do I get to play e5 without losing everything? So maybe bishop e6, queen. I'm playing it like reverse Siamish King's Indian. I'll blunt this bishop. So bishop e6, yes, I'll play like this. That's the way to not give too much counterplay with like a b4 clamping down. Bishop g4, queen d7. Although that d5 square is a concern. Maybe I should just be happy with this position enough not to have to go for a hack attack, and just in fact, castle. I know it's boring, but because this bishop is blunted, I'm wondering if I should just castle and put, make use of my extra kind of bishop at the moment. Bishop d6, queen c7. There's a lot of pressure on the dark squares. That threatens immediately to fracture the pawn significantly. So I don't think I have to worry about knight b5. I don't think that should be allowed. Bishop takes f4. This, trying to get the c4 for the knight. What about g3? I'm going to take on g3 here. That gives me knight d5, queen h4. Takes, queen h2, king f1, bishop d3 is mating. Rook e2 is not mating. Why isn't that mating? What would I need for that to be mating? I think just an early bishop d3. So knight d5 cd, bishop d3 takes, queen h4. That will be mating on h2 surely. So knight d5. I'll play bishop d3 to cut the king. So dc queen h4, weaving this mating net. Bishop f1, queen h4, bishop d3, queen h2 to f2. But on dc queen h4, I think that's mating. So I've cut the king in advance. It's not mating, just my luck. It's not mating. Okay, I can take this knight for a moment. Is it too dangerous to allow this pawn? If I play rook e8, just want to shift this rook away so this is mate. Oh, that's not happening either. Okay, he's got a dangerous pawn here. Try and take it off. If I take off this dangerous pawn, it's one less thing to worry about. Check, king f1, bishop f3, bishop f3. I'm seeing something here. Bishop c5 is now a pain. Right, let's protect this then for a moment. It gives queen h2 anyway, if I want it. Now, yeah, I got to get rid of this pawn before something horrible happens with that. Okay, so we have this position. Check is not doing anything, right? I hate to exchange off bishops here, but okay. Okay, rook e3. Am I still got anything or not? If I can double rooks. Pawn up, compromise king safety, but I think I should have been able to put something away earlier, I suspect. Okay, that's given me queen f2 now, at least for a moment. Queen e2, well, there's queen d4. Rook c4. Okay, let's just hold this pawn for a moment. Back row's not, it's not back row mate yet because I've got some air. Yeah. Okay. If I try to hold that, just put it there for a moment. And now hitting the rook, and I'm freeing my rook, but I think I've made heavy work of this yet. The check is not doing anything, I guess. But I'm going to see with tempo. The check's pointless, isn't it? Okay. What about to d2? If I go to d2, because he's going to play, no, he's not playing rook e4 yet, but if I get queen d2 in, I'm hoping that's a good problem to set. What does he do about queen d2? Queen d2. Yes, I thought he's going to set the exchange. That's a nuisance, I gotta say. Losing my lovely dangerous pass pawn now. So check. Just to play g6 for a moment, and after bishop d5 threatens queen g6. Got to be careful. King g7. All right, let's go here. Queen e3 or queen e2, just to get the queens off. But no, there's loads of passed pawns here. Hang on, let's try it again. Go for the king. Second wave attack. I'm going to play king g7 for rook h8. And it's queen f. Oh my god! There's no breaking through this defense, is there? It's never easy, is it? The check here just blunders a rook. All right, yeah, good defense. Trying to get more coffee. Thanks, Kingscrusher. Kramnik student. I'll try and have a stable sort of system with d4 against the higher rateds. I'll try and be more stable, and inverted commas more solid, like London system philosophy, not London system itself, although that might be a good choice as well. So is Kramnik student around? Oh, he didn't press. Remember to, when you do your challenge, to do the tick box apparently. To automatically create the game when the challenge is accepted. So I hope you're doing your challenges like that, you know what I mean? When you challenge me, if you do the tick box, because otherwise we have this situation where I'm pretty sure he's challenged me, but yeah, it hasn't created the game automatically. So I might have to abort this. I'm going to abort this and go to the next challenge, but challenge me again, student. But remember the tick box, guys, the tick box. When you challenge, use the tick box. So Fenneman, I'm hoping Fenneman is around. Is this tick box the new thing? Because we didn't seem to have it on the previous sessions from last week. Yeah. Is anyone ready? Going to run through the queue quite rapidly at this rate. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're going through the queue quite rapidly. Please re-challenge with the tick box to automatically create the game. man. Oh, being pushed into a Chigorin after knight f3, that's nice. Oh well. I was hoping for, well, whatever. Nigel Short once beat Kasparov on TV with a Chigorin in the 30-minute chess, I think. It was a good game. It was one of his only games he won. Well, no, I think he did all right actually. It was this televised rapid match Short against Kasparov a few years back, and I remember quite a few years back, and Chigorin was used. Chigorin, maybe pronounced Chigorin. I think Short got a good grip on the light squares like c4 later. I might have video annotated it actually on my channel, or maybe I should do. It was quite an exciting game. Azure Mist is addicted to Chigorin. Fenneman, okay, just re-challenge me, Fenneman, but remember the tick box that automatically create the game, yeah? I've caused some problems here already, he's thinking. That's good. I think this is a bit dicey to castle queenside. He's running into some important tempo gainers for me. A5, A4, A3. That's a nice pin. Do I want to keep it? Maybe just get this A file in exchange. But knight A4 after takes. Okay, that's pin. Well, there's Queen E7 for a moment. If I want to play A4, he's got A4 covered actually. Okay, I'm threatening just to win a pawn here. Okay, I'm just going to take this pawn, I think, and this is Queen B5. There's Bishop C7, but this is the C file that I want anyway. So I think A4 is looking interesting, or Rook C8. Just for Knight B4, and then... Oh, let's just castle for a moment, actually. Would he take the queen here? Yes. That runs into Bishop C2, Knight D6, King D7. Now in that position, I think it's tricky because Knight C8, there's Bishop takes B3. I think I'm going to go for it, allow Knight D6. There's a check on, actually there's a check here on B6. On here, Knight B6, so maybe better just to take on C8. That's a lot of compensation there for me, surely. I get this other pawn, at least. So it's 2 pawns for an exchange with the Chigorin Knights. They're famous, actually, Chigorin Knights. He was into his knights. So, how ironic to end up with nice knights here. Okay, potentially. I think he was the adopted father of the Soviet chess school as well. Let's block this bishop, although Rook F1, I'm really going to be testing the knights after Rook F1. There is another way. Well, there's 2 other ways. There's Knight C6 is the obvious way. E5 runs into Rook F1. I could just allow that because it blunts the bishop quite significantly. So I'm going to really test being exchanged down here. If I take in king e6, what about just knight g3? Because I'm wondering, unless the rooks really work well, I don't think they would actually, because I've got c6 covered. I think this position, my pawns can go full blast. If he doubles, I think just rook g2. Okay, here there's rook b2 for knight d3. It's tons of pawns for the exchange by this stage now. Armada of pawns here. In fact, I don't even need to lose my a pawn at the moment, necessarily. In fact, why don't I play knight e4? That would be more sensible, because that centralizes the knight. I'm ready for d4, d3, d2. Is this going to be enough? I mean, I'm pretty confident at the moment that the king's going in the wrong direction. What is it? Getting back. Not quite. Hasn't got c3. If my king ever gets to e3, I'll be happy, because now I can use these other pawns or not. Knight f2 now for d1. He has to go rook d1. My concern here, not too much actually. I did have a small concern for a moment with f5, f4, f3, this h pawn, but now d1 looks good. Okay, thanks for the game there. Interesting one. Okay, Simba. Okay. Please tell me you did the tick box. Okay, I'll try maybe Caracan. Will it be Caracan's? We'll see. Main line-ish. Start with this solid position here, I hope. Okay. This? It's too dangerous for g7, right? Knight f6, and he's got queen a7. Knight b6, so queen g7, knight c4. Knight b6 looks interesting in the circumstances, because it shields a7 and hits c4, and also it means f7 is protected as well. I think two rooks for the queen might be tricky to coordinate in blitz chess if he goes queen g7, queen h8. So queen g7, knight c4. I don't know about queen h8. Maybe it loses instantly because of some discovery. Yeah, knight e5 to win the knight. Like, unless there's rook c1 after that. In fact, king b1, knight for rook c1. So I don't know. That's all a bit, yeah, far. Okay, just blunt. Okay, we're both protecting basically. I don't know. Queen, knight c4. Okay, I'll just play for e5 just to blunt the bishop. Positional now. Just e5, just want to blunt the bishop. Now if b3, I mean, there might be think, well, I think I blunt the bishop first top priority. Ah, it's pinned. Well, is he going to do something about Queen C4? There's Queen G7 all the time. Knight C4? Is he going to do something about Knight C4? Okay, the E6 torture thing, is it? Isn't there Queen C? Okay, Queen C4, Queen G7. Knight A4 there. This is all too dangerous. F5 is out of the question, I think. Weakening light squares. Queen E7 is out of the question. Pin. Queen F7 might be feasible. Queen F7. Just for a moment, there's Knight D4. I don't want to spend too long because I'm going to just lose on time. I'll just do this and move the king, I think. So rook e6. Okay, I'm 30 seconds behind now. Rook e6, king b8. Alright, might backfire for knight a3, a bishop move. Queen c1, bishop d2, knight takes. Right, knight a3 here. There was also knight d2. Yeah, it was a bit tactical. A lot of tactics in the background of that game. I'm trying to sort of grasp them, but difficult. Sorry, that's my messages. Sorry about that. Whoops. Okay. Thanks for the game. So Martin, Moritz. Pardon me, Moritz. Hi, Moritz. Oh, you're going to play the Smith-Mora. Ha ha ha. It's one of my favourite pet weapons. This is what I don't like when they play d3, which is another thing I need to add to my repertoire that I'm working on at the moment. Okay. Another way of declining the Smith-Mora. I've got Esmond's book, Mayhem in the Mora, but really didn't get much time to read it. What I have read is pretty good. I had this bullet match against Esmond somewhere else, and it was 10-all, and he wanted a rematch, and I was so excited I kind of didn't give an immediate rematch, and yeah, fun. But anyway, okay, so rook c8 for a moment, because c5 is dangerous. He's pretty good at bullet chess, Mark Esmond. Yeah, pretty good. When I say pretty good, one of the best I've seen. Okay, so h6. This e5 is alright, what about knight h5 to f4 just for fun? Is that possible without losing instantly? But yeah, if you want to learn to play the Smith-Mora Gambit, yeah, Mayhem in the Mora, pretty good. There's also okay, let's see. Okay, I don't want to weaken my light squares, that's for sure. In fact, I'd rather have a structure with f5 and e4. On c5 there's queen d5. I know I'm weakening this diagonal, but yeah, I'll go for this e4, maybe e5 after. e4, e5. He's not pressing through with c5 just yet. Can I just hold the dark squares, or bishop f2 is going to happen? So stick the knight in here, I think. Am I worried about that? I shouldn't be, I think, because it opens up the dark square bishop. My pawn mobility is less than him, it seems. I'll have the double pawns. Okay, there's always a knight e2 trick if he's going to win this pawn with bishop f2. I'm going to have knight e2 in it, but his pawn mobility is gigantic after, if he takes this. So this is probably a really dumb idea, provoking bishop f2. His pawns are already dangerous. Can I play for, if he's not taking, bishop h6? Is that a nuisance move or actually useful? More than just being a nuisance. Bishop h6, queen f2. Oh, okay, I'm tempted to weaken my light squares. I think h4, as long as I don't lose f5 too quickly, h4, h3 could be dangerous. Is he going to extend my bishop or not? No. h3, there's always g3. That's the snag with that. e6, trying to undouble. That might be worth a punt. Oh, God, I hope so. If I can just... Okay. Just check this is not losing a piece. It's not losing b6. So the pawn mobility is a bit less of a worry, because he's not just undoubled my pawns. But his own pawn mobility is a little bit less after that, I think. If you imagine that he had d5 and c5 potentially. So I've taken out some of the pawn mobility. And can I not just take that? Or is bishop b3 is the point? Yeah, this diagonal is a bit sensitive. Can I get my king off there? Just on a dark square here. Okay, get everything off the diagonal in advance. Prophylaxis. Okay, e5 is not dropping off immediately. That's another good bit of news. Actually, is there rook d3 if he's not going to take? In fact, stop pre-moving this. Hold on a sec. Let me think. Rook d7. What about queen d7? Bishop e5. And then there's no back row issue. I think I might have to play this. Goes into c5. Great. Which gives him potentially... great. I'm only losing a pawn now. There's rook d3 potentially behind the scenes here. Or not that much behind the scenes. There's rook b7 just trying to get this pawn back immediately. Can he hold this pawn? I'll take with the rook. I think I'll do that. I don't like these running past pawns. Oh, so that wins the exchange. Well, there's h3. I'm hoping with a bit of compensation. Unless I'm getting mated. I'll check and check. Looks winning. I think he had a win there. This is dangerous as well. But I think he had a forced mate. Check. Well, whatever. This gives me knight g6. I think I'm living on for a moment. He's got a back row issue. Yeah, I think, okay, check on a minute, but anyway, I might have to force, I was going to say a draw, but I'm fracturing his pawns here. Blockade. Now, is this winnable? Probably not. Is there no way? I'm going to offer a draw because I think, where's the draw? Oh, he's not accepting it. Oh, maybe he's winning. Oh my god. Am I just put myself in sucks bang? Not yet. Okay, well played. Okay, well played. Excellent. Yeah, great stuff. All right, chess checkmonk. Next, chess checkmonk. I'll play e4. Yeah, I think there was an extermination combination there with check, bishop g8. I didn't have queen h6. I mean king h. Yeah, I think white had a win there. Now, I might take here actually. Just because e5, well, I play this. I think knight f4, bishop e4. Can I kick this knight? I wonder about d5, or maybe just could try and probe with knight g5. Probe for some. It looks a bit silly. I don't know. Probably. If I can get in h. Okay. My piece is all over the place. Knight c5 is really dangerous there. Take away this c5 square for a moment. I can't play knight d4, knight c5. That's too dangerous. a5, bishop b2 on the other hand. So let's rule out. I've got to keep control of. I think I've got to keep control of the c5 square and be a pawn down for a moment. Oh, re-accept your challenge. Okay, I'll look for your challenge next, Kremnik student. Yeah. If you do the tick box to create the game, yeah. You know when you challenge, do the tick box, yeah. So knight e4 here is leading to nothing. Can I provoke g5? Because I just want to sack on g5 if he plays g5. I don't think he will, trying to get this knight. I mean, he might. I mean, the knight's dumb there, don't they? They're asking to be forked, yeah. I do wonder. What about rook b1, and then I could play queen c1, bishop h6, in fact, so that weakness might be significant. As long as my queen's not over here, I think rook b1, so I don't have to lose a rook over here. Queen c1 for bishop h6, coming up. So queen c1 is the plan for bishop h6. I've seen this kind of idea of a pawn sack for some sort of kingside pressure before. It looks as though at the moment I might have done the right thing to make sure that our knight's not coming to c5. So I think if I get bishop h6, I think I'll be happy. Right, e4, queen g5, g6. E4's coming strong, isn't it? Okay. I didn't know that would be taken. I thought e4. Now, am I just lost here actually? Because e4 here, it could be that I'm just lost here. Now e4, knight h4, e takes, knight f5 is dangerous. Knight e8, knight g5. The knights could work together on f5 and g5 here. After e4, knight h4, ed, knight f5, knight e8, knight g5. The other one goes to f5. I'll take it from there. In fact, in that scenario, isn't there just a rook e8? If the pawn's taking here, I've got rook e8 coming up. So e4, knight h4, ed, knight f5. Knight e8, I just play rook takes e8 with mating on g7. Maybe bishop f3 is more likely. That gives me the g file, just king h1, rook g1 after. So I don't mind bishop f3, yeah, king h1, rook g1. Do I mind e4? This is the thing. So I'm proposing, in fact, I could go this way with knight d4. Oh, there's bishop f8. I'll play this anyway. So bishop f8, queen g5 for knight f5. Alright, so get to install a knight. Not sure this is enough. Have I got any other opportunities here that I didn't? Doubt it. So e4 is happening, yeah. Yeah, this looks like a big improvement for black, unfortunately. Any tracks? I'm threatening knight d4. Is there going to be d3? Do I get this rook round? Bishop d3 now on d3. Let's defend against the mate. Alright, I'll play the check. I can take this, take on e4, getting a pawn, or maybe better rook e4. Bishop e4 is sufficient, I think, because I'll get the other pawn, threatening mate. The other pawn's attacked. There's rook d4. I think there's too much time pressure here to cope. might actually be okay. Isn't there rook f4? Yeah, I was probably in trouble. Yeah, thanks, good stuff. Chess Chipmunk. Polska, okay. What is that? I'm playing Albin. Should I try? No. Are we going to go into a London system then? Oh my god. Okay, I haven't played e6. So I got bishop f5. Not here though, just loses a piece. I've got the wrong position. I think I just got the wrong position. Bit too routine there. It looked like, yeah, it wasn't the right position. Oh dear. Bunny! I said so anyway, enough of that. Okay. It looked familiar because sometimes there's an idea of Queen B2. If you knew the theory, you'll know what I'm talking about. You had to be there. It looked familiar to both of us. It was just the wrong position slightly. I assure you, I'm not making it up. There's a line with bishop f5. I'm not making it up. I'm sure he's used to that. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Oh. F5. This is horrible with F. I don't want to get blasted here. Can I play F5 without getting completely smashed? Wait for G6. Oh my god. I never get the time for play G6 without knight G6. That's the problem I have with this position. Unless he really wants to draw a perpetual, or has he got more after that? I don't want to play F5, weakening my structure. And I don't want to lose on time either, thinking about this too much. Okay, so for the moment I'll do this concession. I'm going to block my B pawn for Queen E7. I want to be able to play G6 and then go back to the Queen side after. Is he playing on the Queen side? I'm going to play on the King side. We're playing on the wrong sides of the board. We're playing very aggressively over here. There's knight b4. Queen b2, there's knight d3 for f4. Queen c1, there's knight a2 for c3. I think he might have misplayed this. He's got a nice healthy clock alliance, but he might have misplayed this. Surely I shouldn't be getting f4 here. Or c3 for that matter. Which one? I think c3 is the base of the chain. But f4 was tempting as well. I can't pick. I mean, the idea is this, right? Okay, fine. That gives me now rook a8, trapping the queen. So I'm protecting the knight. I'm threatening rook a8. If he goes back, say a2, then rook c2 is a lovely juicy pin. Queen a3 hits the rook. Yes, that's true. Rook a8 again. Queen moves, say here, takes. Rook A2 for Rook C2. I think I'm happy. I think I should be happy here for what's happened. It looks like a mini tactical disaster. Do I take on F4? That's the question. I think I'd like to get both rooks active actually, while I can. This pin looks really great. So I'm still threatening knight F4. I've been for some time. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so D3 knight. If I just consolidate getting the queens off here, so my knight's not so hanging. Okay, I think I'll be happy with both rooks on the 7th flat on rook C2. There'll still be an issue if he moves the knight with rook G2 and knight F4. Right, can I not take? Is there a tactic? Nope. I'm controlling C1, that's on the bright side. C6 is not so vulnerable immediately. I'm going to play C5 just to get rid of this backward pawn. Maybe. Coffee 1 nearly finished. Going on to coffee 2 soon. That's rook D2 for knight E4 here. Forcing moves. Coffee 2. Taking you guys seriously this week. I've got 2 coffees. I've got a coffee spare. I mean, even more seriously. I always take you seriously. I mean, even more seriously. That's what I mean. These nightfalls are fun, aren't they? Okay, thanks for the game. Thanks for the game. Chess player. Oh, sorry, Kramnik student. Sorry, just remind me again. I'm in routine. Let's play. I don't know. Karakhan hasn't let me down this session anyway. Okay, Kramnik student. Yeah, sorry. I'll get to you. Okay, I'll just bypass whatever evil thing this is, and just try and or naughty thing this is actually, and just try and get a decent position out of it without thinking too hard. Oh, mind you, I'm going to try and worry with H4, H3, because H4 is a concession, and it will make it less likely for F4, F5 later with that G4 square if white is encouraged to play H4. Even this position, the bishop's going to be blocked in if all these squares. I'm going to do this radical thing. I'm going to put a knight on F4 and seal the bishop in. In fact, can I get rid of the dark square bishop for a moment? Because that will make F4 even more luscious for a knight on F4 later. Apparently not. Okay. Maybe F6 then. Okay, there's a lot of pawn moves in this game by both sides. We're all going crazy on the pawn moves. Although taking, I don't know, should be worried. I think my main concern is G5 here. I wanted to get a knight into F4. Can I get a knight into F4? It's a bit ambitious. But on the other hand, this locked pawn chain means the bishop's like in prison a little bit. Well, d3, h3, imprisoning the f1 bishop a little bit. On the other hand, it's so complicated, but CD, this is like a weakened pawn as well, which could be ganged up on later. Okay, I'll try and at least, okay, I don't know what's going on now. It looks like a potentially aggressive pawn chain. Do I need to play a6 or... I'm still interested in getting rid of his dark square bishop. Will he play bishop d2? I'd like to do that for f4. Get knight into f4. What's going to challenge it? Not this bishop ever. Will these knights challenge it on f4? Do I stop a5 when I've got a chance? I don't know. We're going to be in lockdown on this side of the board. It's going to minimize my winning chances, potentially. Maybe I'm banking too much on the knight on f4. One of the dreams achieved, but I don't know. Yeah, this side is blocked. Then there has to be maybe a piece sack pretty soon on the queen side. b6, a6, complete lockdown. a6, b6, maybe I do something later, sacking on b6 much later. Yeah, it's getting pretty locked down this position. Okay, knight e2, but he's going to give me e5 if he ever takes this knight off. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that, would he? Because e5 is even better. I don't mind this at all. We've opened up the position in a way. Gigantic knight on e5. How does he get to that? Again, not with the bishop, but this knight. Bishop's never going to touch the dark squares. That's my point, really. But this knight, d3 or c4 to hit the knight. There's f3 here, bishop h1. Bishop g4 is almost working. Hg, queen d7, king h2, queen g4, rook g1. He's going to play f3, isn't he? I think I'll play this now before he plays f3. f3, bishop h1, queen d7, king h2, bishop g4. Ah, it's tempting. c5 is also hanging here, by the way. So he can also win this with d1, queen d1 soon. All right, okay. Yeah, so his point is queen d1. I'm losing that pawn, aren't I? c5's been hanging for years. Probably. It's the first time I noticed c5. Okay, so block the queen side. Alright. Here we go. Have some dark square compensation anyway if he wins that pawn. I'll put the bishop on lockdown f4. Bishop here. Maybe the knight does go back to f4, and I shouldn't mind the possession too much because I've got good dark squares. Okay, this changes things. Yeah, bishop c6. It's surely dangerous for his king. For knight f3 coming up. Yes, that's a dangerous pass pawn. Protected pass pawn. Clock advantage is good. The question, okay, I'll go into f4 again. I've got rook e3 now. I think this is more favourable with the absence of that bishop. So there's things like knight f4, rook e3. This looks pretty crushing to me. Double the rooks. This b7's a major thing. I wouldn't have thought so. Rook e3, rook f3. Rook 8, e3. Okay, b7, rook f3 looks like. Yeah, the pawn queens. Rook e3, b7, rook f3, pawn queens. Let's get the king off here so it's not check. If b7, rook b8. Alright, I'm going to just try and get rid of this pawn, I think. And then get rid of the pawn. 2 rooks on the 7th is crushing. Okay. That was some price to lose that pawn. That was his major pass. That's rook. Okay, thanks for the game, chess player 007. Thanks for the game. Oh, again, I've just done it. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I've just realised. Kramnik student. Sorry. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I'll play at Budapest here. I'm doing a trap repertoire at the moment, and there's a very interesting b6 trap which is spectacular. I've been meaning to try against someone unsuspecting victim, if I can remember the analysis. So knight e4 and b6. That's not happening, is it? After knight d2, that's a pretty solid move, unfortunately. Use this classic use of the third rank, which I tried to explain in one of my YouTube videos recently, but because of the result of the game and I got murdered by some GM, it still doesn't mean that this third rank isn't a resource in the Budapest Gambit. It is. It makes it fun to have this third rank cleared for rook h6. I haven't made it up. It's in one of my books on the Budapest Gambit. So hopefully I can whip up some pressure. Yeah, knight e4 is not as good as knight g4, but I'm aiming for a specific interesting trap to try out, just for fun. Yeah, not always playing Super GM openings. Okay, so it's probably best not to play the Budapest Gambit against a 2600 plus GM in general. Mind you, they usually win anyway, so it's how you choose to lose, isn't it? Okay, so bishop b2, d6. Now, I think I would have play after knight f3, bishop f3, queen h4, h3, d6 with the idea, crude idea of bishop h3. This is what I'm threatening, I think. That makes things more problematic. Can I kick the queen first, just to get away from c5? And cause a weakness now, when I've got a chance, is the weakness h3, or not g3, queen h2, h3. Ah, that's annoying. That is annoying. And it's on c7. Okay, bishop d6 is threatened now. Let's try not to get mated by castling. Oh, okay. All the fun's gone. The fun has disappeared out of this game. I'm hoping it's a reasonable position anyway. It's not completely lost, is it? Bishop g4. Yeah, it's a reasonable position. Oh. Yes, e5. Yes, yes. Hang on, what about a3? Is my king too unsafe here or something? I mean, probably. I mean, I probably want to tuck my king in bed here. Rook e8 for king f8 instead of taking the pawn. Ah, he's letting me play f6. It's not even f4 because the pawn is pinned. Alright, I'm going to play rook d8 and bishop d4. If given the chance. Happy with the position now. Although the rook's out of play, I'll get it back in play with this. Undermining c4. So rook c4. Yeah, rook c4. There, king d3. And there's no entry points here for the moment on d7, d8. Maybe a minority attack then. I just play for a minority attack on this side, h5, g4, trying to fracture the pawns. As long as the rook's not stranded or one with bishop e1. If I get to play g4 with structural damage, right, bishop e1, there's going to be rook c4 here. Play anyway. Bishop e1, rook c4. Play rook c4 first, so I have rook c4 without squashing it. Now g4, kind of minority attack. Well, am I just giving him a pass to h pawn? No. I could just take that. And so f5. Alright, so yeah. Play, what is he doing? I'll play bishop e5. No, not bishop e5. Okay, yeah, interesting. Thanks. Kramnik student. I know this is out of sequential order here, but he did challenge earlier. So this is an exception order. Kramnik students. So remember, when you challenge to do the tick box for automatically creating a game, I will stick with the Smith-Mora. I'm actually taking it seriously for trying to research the variations possible. And there is a bit of nice compensation for the gambit. It's one of the more sounder gambits in chess, Smith-Mora against the Sicilian. Because the Sicilian's so popular, it makes it more important, I think, as a gambit to sort of try and know the variations of. if you want something against the Sicilian, especially for blitz chess. No, that doesn't look right to lose d6. Well, this is interesting. Can I play knight e4? Oh, sorry, this is looking a bit dicey for black. Actually, I think after losing that d6, this is looking more than dicey. I've got to say, because if bishop takes f8, well, king takes. I guess it's not immediately like losing. I mean, I'm not counting the chickens before they hatch, but there's a few that seem to be about to hatch here. A few chickens. Okay, so bishop b3. Was it last night? I was looking at a program on TV, the Hairy Bikers. So they were in France, and there's all these amazing ways to prepare chicken, which is my favourite thing, actually, chicken. Like go to Nando's. If you go to Nando's, you're into chicken, and yeah. Anyone watched Hairy Bikers on TV? I don't know if it goes international as a program. It's a good one. So knight g5. I mean, it looks as though, what do I need to do here? Getting back to the chess. What do I need to do here? I wonder. It looks close on the brink of disaster for black. I mean, when there's a pin, that's great. You know, there's a pin on the knight here. Except he's wriggling after bishop f8. I don't want him to wriggle with king f8. Knight g5, I might just be losing the center pawn. Knight c5 for bishop f8 looks very crushing, actually. Because I'm on d7, that's a nice target. d7. Well, c6, undermines c6, taking on d7. Something's going to give way here. It's that knight. Yeah, thanks for the game. Thanks for the game. Yeah. Chessy. Try and loosen the dark squares with this Nimzovich system, but a lot of people will just play knight f3, which I shouldn't mention, but it kills a lot of the fun of the whole Nimzovich system. Oh, God. So just turn off the sound. Just turning off the sound of the phone. Pardon me. I don't want any interruptions. Unless it was an emergency call of some sort. Better check soon. This looks like a potential hack attack. I might just sack on g4. That's pretty vicious. Just to sack on g4. Which the knight or the bishop? That's the question. I don't know. Just looks interesting. h3. I mean, I've got loads of pieces around the king here. I mean, loads. I've also got a queen coming to h4 for f2. I mean, the immediate target is actually f2 on queen h4. There's no knight g3, there's queen g3. Queen e1 just gets mated to h3 and queen h3 now. So how does actually white defend this? I don't understand how white can defend this that much. Yeah. This is also good, I think. Just okay, interesting game. Now, technically, right, there's a load of challenges here, guys, but bear with me. I just want to make sure that wasn't a critical phone call. I will play a bit longer, right, than scheduled, but I just want to make sure that wasn't a critical phone call. Sorry about this. No, I don't think it was. Okay. Let's play on. There's loads of challenges. Thanks, guys, for the interest. Okay. Riz and Z1. If you want me to play certain openings, I might be open for some influence. But one of my favourites is the Smith-Mora Gambit. Against the Sicilian. If it's taken, I really think it's a good gambit for blitz. I really do. I'm convinced. I'm actually, yeah, as I say, researching it at the moment. I mean, already there's good piece play. You're up in development. Okay, you sacked a pawn. One has sacked a pawn. But it's just juicy. I mean, there's thematic ideas of knight d5. Yeah, I'm going to play knight d5 just to open up the e file. This will make the congestion issues quite more significant, I think. Now, I might even just take on f6 if that is played. Okay, knight d4 to e6 is a gaping hole on e6 here. Knight d4 to e6 looks like a super juicy thing. A king's engine of black. Yeah. I've got my second coffee reserve here. There was a discussion on Reddit about the use of coffee, actually, and I argued against it. But I had in mind longer games because I've had this coffee crash once and similar, where I was struggling like Mr. Bean to keep my eyes open during the game. After too much coffee, there's a crash. I'd rather have, in general, nuts, bananas, and water. A lot of chess players in FIDE tournaments, like the London Classic, are just water, basically. But I think nuts and bananas, I don't think you can go too far wrong. Just to keep the energy going. Queen h5 looks mega dangerous here. There is knight g6. I wonder if knight g6 isn't played, bishop d6, knight g6, e7 looks crushing. This diagonal will be tasty as well. if I got a bishop there. There's two diagonals to get to the king. I'll try this one. Try and plough my way on this a4, e8. There's this one as well. The knight's defending that diagonal, but it's not necessarily defending this one yet. Now this 7th rank, there's rook d7, potentially. Right, queen h5, knight g6, but there's e7 there, supported by both rooks. Queen b6, queen h5, knight g6, e7, he's taking that. Does that necessarily... No. Bishop g7 after. Hang on, I'm missing a trick, aren't I? Rook h7, check, knight g6, rook h7 undermines everything. Yeah, rook h7, queen g6, picking up the rook. King d8, on the other hand, might need investigating. Threatening e7. Got my material back with interest. Surely. Can win the queen. Rook c1. I'm not getting back row mated anytime soon, I think. I've always got h2. King b7 is bishop d5. Thanks for the game, Vince. Moby. Okay, so this variation, there's been a bit of debate on Reddit about, well, I mentioned knight d2 versus knight c3. It was thought at some point knight c3 might be technically less accurate than knight d2 against Caro-Kann because of Gudengaizi systems with g6 and bishop g7. If you played knight d2 against taking a g6, you have c3. So that's why some people in the past recommended knight d2 instead of knight c3 against Caro-Kann. Bit of trivia, but on the other hand, I don't think it's a big deal actually, as mentioned. What is significant, I think, I've just had a game earlier actually, even before this session at 5 minutes, I got wiped out here in a similar position. If you play c4 too quickly when you castle, and I'm trying not to do this here, there's the resource b5, which both gets the d5 square and weakens basically king safety. We'll try and avoid playing c4 in a hurry. Because b5 sometimes is really good for black, not just as an attacking move, but positional. c4 is like, sometimes I thought it was tempting for bishop c3 and d5, but it's a bit ambitious actually. Especially, you know, the b5 resource is something to look out for. Now here, I don't know, c4 might be okay because he's castled over there. On the other hand, there's other stuff to do. On the other hand, I'm tempted now to play c4. Yeah, c5, bishop c3, cd knight d4 for knight b5 potentially. Bishop c5, queen e3. Maybe not queen e3, knight g4. All right, I'm preparing for c5. If I take knight e5, bishop e5, it's not losing material, is he? Can I play d5? Another alternate plan, and I've seen this in a few master games, is just light square play, because you've already got the start of light square play grip with this pawn here. You can get grip on these other squares as well. Like here, I might have some light square play. So if I get a knight, I'm hitting the knight, when that goes, knight f5, and there's a bit of a bind over here. f3 and then g4 for knight f5, because I think there's a bit of a bind. I think it will be difficult to play g6. So I get this bind, mind you, e4 could ruin things, bishop f6 for knight f5, knight in front of the double pawns, good blockade potentially. Knight f5, there's no trick, knight h5, I've got rook h5 to win that knight. Also there's knight d6 if needed anyway with check. So knight f5 coming in. The question is bishop f6 now. I'll put my money where the mouth is. I'll take and play knight f5 as mentioned. The only concern now I'm looking at is this dark square bishop. Is it going to do damage later? Trouble is in the chess, you can say something, but there's tiny details you notice, and you've got to change course. So it's difficult to sort of really plan things and say things in advance. You've got to be very flexible. It's on b2. Okay, so how does he maximize that? Can I not just get the queens off? I know it's boring, but I've got a nice blockade here, and also a pass pawn with d6. d6 takes bishop d6. Can't use it at the moment. Bring the king in. I got protected pass pawn. I've got, yeah, the pass pawn advantage. Even if a pair of rooks come off, because he's going to double otherwise, I still think I've got my strength on the blockade and the pass pawn. Blockade with king e4. He's holding on to h6 for dear life. Okay, g4 is a problem. So we reach a position that's not that easy. Maybe I shouldn't have undoubled this pawn, but I thought he was going to double the rooks. Interesting. I know it's my turn, I'm just thinking. I'll let him catch up on the clock as well. He can't go back to g8 without losing a7. That's something I've just noticed just now. Now if he's going to use the a pawn, then we're talking a different story. Rook a5. Maybe b4 here, just to liberate my pawns. Knight f7 or knight b7. There's no rooks here at the moment. I like the blockade. His bishop isn't that fantastic in the position because of this blockade. Okay, knight b6 is threatened tactically after that move. Tactics are very, very important. Obviously. Okay, thanks for the game. Yeah, my positional plans didn't seem to be that significant there. Knight killer. I'll try Budapest again. No, I can't. I don't like that move, knight f3. It should be banned. Smith-Mora Gambit. He's playing a4, isn't he? No! What is this? What have I done to him? He doesn't want to give me any counterplay. Alright, don't worry. I will make sure I get some counterplay here. Somehow, some way. I'll play b5 now. He's let the clamp go a bit here. I remember playing a lot of blitz games with, now I am, but sort of retired from chess, Andrew Webster, in this kind of thing where he always played a5 and ab. Actually, I had some good dynamic games on blitz with him, Andrew Webster, when he was on the scene. Now, this is a passed a pawn for sure. I have noticed that this is a passed a pawn, funny enough. But have I got c4 here for c3? Is that crazy? Is it dangerous? I think it might be dangerous. I'm hoping it's more dangerous than the liability if it ends up on c3. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not threatening anything, am I, apart from c2, which doesn't really win the exchange. Knight c2, I mean, I don't want to weaken all my dark squares. And this is more interesting. Queen d1 now, c2, knight c2, rook c2, queen c2, bishop a1. Right, there's no a6 at the moment, especially when I take that off. I can just play bishop a6. So bishop a6 and c2. Coming up, bishop a1. So I'm on my second cup of coffee, guys. Taking it very seriously this week. Bishop b5 coming up. Queen b3. Actually, technically, it's probably my fourth cup of coffee. I did have coffee before this as well. Okay, so if I take and bishop b5, on the other hand, you know, there's c2 here winning the exchange, which I mentioned wasn't that attractive before, and probably still for the same reason. I'd like to keep that pawn for a moment. Maybe I don't want to lose this knight. What about this? Hold on a sec. He's not going to give up his dark square bishop just for this, is he? I want to play queen b8 and b2. I think that should be pretty good. I think you can get caffeine from cold coffee, can't you? Yeah, I don't usually have coffee later. It's just to wake me up at the start of the day, and later I just don't. I have like water later stuff. So I think Queen B2. There's Rook B1. Bishop B5. Is that a forcing move for simplification? I wonder. Okay, I'm going to play knight C7, A7, knight B5. Tickle this pawn into submission. Okay, yeah, thanks for the game, Night Killer. I'm playing at CM now. CM against CM. Okay. Cool. The CM title got introduced, by the way, on one of the other major servers, on my pestering to death one of the owners of another major server. Eventually they got the CM title. I didn't resort to total torture to say, oh please can you give us the CM title, because it's like a recognized FIDE title, please put it on the server. You don't even have to give us a free membership, I just want the CM title. So eventually anyway, it's caught on. A lot of the servers now have the CM title. I think, you know, if you ever get over 2200, you might necessarily not get over 2300, because that's another investment of, like, for some people too much. I don't know. I mean, I got over 2200 when I was in junior days, and it was much easier to spend all the time on chess. So after that I didn't play many FIDE tournaments actually for many years. But on any published list, even in the past, if you ever got over 2200, you can, you know, claim your CM title. I've just blundered B2, haven't I? Plundering B2. That's a shame, I gotta say, because my centre's about to collapse now, isn't it? This was dumb, wasn't it? Bishop F6. Have I not got any pressure on the light squares? I'm wondering about Bishop E2. It's pathetic, but it's better than nothing. Well, no, it's not better than nothing. I think I should move my knight. Hold on. If I move my knight instead. DE isn't total crumble yet. Queen E4. Let's play knight G3 to H5. This knight actually might be useful over here. Okay, clearly there's no F6 because I'll lose my queen. But on the other hand, knight H5 is storm clouds a little bit. H4 around the king, I hope. So knight H5 is threatening knight F6. Plays bishop H6, so I get to threaten knight F6. And get these rooks round for an attack, sneakily. Well, not so sneakily. Queen A2, rook A1 for A7, maybe. I'm going to play rook F3, G3. He's just going to take off, isn't he? On h5 with bishop e8. Do I do that or not? I'm threatening this and queen as well, sneakily. But he'll take the queens off on that case. In fact, he's probably encouraging me to do something like I've just blundered, haven't I? Well, rather he's won the knight. There's a rook b3 tactic if I can get it in. I don't think I'll be getting it in though. That's not great. f6. It's unfortunate. c4 for rook b1 is pretty sneaky, as sneaky goes. But it's a bit slow. G takes. Oh, queen h5. No. Maybe it's worth this rook b1. G takes queen h5. Bishop moves rook b1, skewing. I can probably just take on b1 and be winning. At least it's an interesting possibility, rook b1. It loses too much material. Yeah, it loses too much material. I got to get this bishop out of here for anything to work. This queen f7 business is also interesting. So rook g4 keeps ideas of queen f7. Rook g8 solves rook b1. Oh man, I'm just losing material everywhere. I'm not getting any attack at this rate. Takes with queen h6. That's my last little tactic idea. I've got queen c1. I was a bit rook f1. Takes queen h6. Don't think this does anything. Just takes and protects h7. Right. It's annoying. Just lost all my material. I should have had more of an attack, I think, than I did. Okay. Yeah. Where's the resign button? Okay. Yeah. Well played. Well played. Okay, Galactic. Okay, Galactic. I was a bit casual there, I think. Losing b2 was the start of the rot. Okay, so knight f6 and bishop c5. Do I worry about this? Probably should worry about this. I'm not going to develop any pieces. Probably move that back. So g6, bishop g7. This might be the last game actually, guys, because it's like 2:30 now. Didn't we start at 12:30? I'm thinking it's been 2 hours. Yeah, I gotta go for Sunday dinner and stuff, otherwise I'll be shouted at. And so I think this will be the last game. Yeah, there was still a lot of pending challenges. I'll speak to people about that if they want me a longer schedule. But I have already extended this session by quite a bit than out of schedule. So, but you know, maybe sometimes I'll do bigger, mega, even more mega sessions on Sunday. Maybe I'll see. Okay, but let's see. Is the I'm not going to be able to castle here, am I? C6, B5, C6, D5. Yes, I've got some problems just castling. Probably I've got an idea of B5, B4 potentially to hit E4. Probably. Given that I can't castle, it's interesting to do something else. B5. Unless it loses something Morphy-like knight takes B5. How does this work? Because bishop F7, I'm protecting the queen with the rook. How does this work? Aha, intriguing. Still play B5. No, there is bishop B5, maybe. Maybe that's dangerous. I can get to castle here. I think I'll do that. It's a nice feeling to castle sometimes. Knight h5 to f4. And get a knight to f4. Now, let me see. So, queen b7. It's a move. Avoids the queen being on the d file. Although I am being tortured here. It has to be said. A little bit. Give my queen a7, even more ridiculous now. Knight c5, queen a7, sliding along the second rank to hold the knight for dear life. Knight b6 on the other hand. Rook a7. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward here, this pin. Material up. No. H5, bishop h6 for knight h3, maybe. It puts the question, where does the white queen want to be? Oh. Oh. Wow. I'm going to play this bishop h6 here. That gives me knight g5 after for bishop h3. And this gives me bishop g4. Is there a threat here on my king or something? Can I not just play f3, or am I getting mated? I'm missing something. The queen, bishop can't come behind the queen, can it? Oh, queen f6 might be the idea. I think queen f6, there's knight g8, protecting the second rank. Unless I'm getting mated, of course. Hang on, there's a check here which might be handy. I'm going to play queen g7 if given the chance. Pins e5. Okay. What's the idea? Is there bishop e6? That's true. But there's queen h6 and bishop g6. I'll play this check. Yeah. Whew. I got quick that game in the end. So yeah, I think it's been a couple of hours. I've got to go for Sunday dinner, but it's been a blast. Hope you enjoyed it too. Likes always appreciated on both the YouTube channels, Kingscrusher. I'll be uploading it as well as the Chess24 channel. So make sure you, if you did like the session, to like it. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. See you next week. Have a good week. Thanks so much.